and say this really, really nicely? Who cares what those people think? I mean, Tim Pawlenty is the only person up there who has the faintest hope of ever being the nominee of the Republican Party. The people who are the candidates, I mean, the ones who are top of the polls, the ones who are running real campaigns who have any chance don't include Gary Johnson, who's kind of an interesting guy, or Congressman Paul, who's kind of an interesting guy, or what's the pizza guy's name?
Herman Cain.
Cain, Mr. Cain from Godfather Pizza.
Yes, very successful businessman.
Very successful businessman, and when I need pizza, he's one of the guys I go to.
Pizza, not policy.
I don't think the Republican Party is going to make him their nominee, but I mean, Carl's right. It's good to clear your throat and get the thing rolling, but I'm not sure that we saw the A-team last night.
And Jim, what about that the A-team wasn't there? Governor Haley said, hey, don't dismiss my state. You better come on down.
Oh, they will. They will. They'll be there, you know.
But you wanted them there last night.
It would have been fun. I mean, look, it was an entertaining debate. I thought, frankly, Herman Cain was the most effective up there. He has got far and away the best voice. Interesting, Pawlenty, who I agree on this much, that he is the one of that five who's most likely to wind up, you know, really seriously competing with the nomination. However, he didn't do very well last night. He was kind of overshadowed by Cain, also by Ron Paul, who, you know, has obviously a hardcore audience that cheers and claps for everything he says.
That's true. They're good clappers. Those Paul
and his base is extremely intense and loyal and focused, and even when he says things like, I want to legalize drugs, you know, which is probably not the best message for upstate South Carolina, he's got a following.
Right. Gary Johnson's with him on that. I mean, almost half the crew was for drug legalization last night.
Which
I love. That's great. I don't think it's going to win the Republican nomination, but I think
you want to expound on why you love that?
I think that our war on drugs over the last 35 years has been an abject failure. I mean, despite all this effort, all these people in prison, all this money spent, all these wasted lives, all this violence that the business provokes, drugs are more plentiful, more potent, and frankly, in many cases, even cheaper than they've ever been. What we've done has been a total, highly expensive failure, and we need fresh thinking on the issue. And I welcome Governor Johnson and Congressman Paul and others who are at least trying to come up with some fresh ideas on the issue.
Ellis, when Ellis says fresh thinking and fresh ideas, he means legalization.
Well, something different from this. Something different from this.
Look, it's a tough one. The problem is if you legalize, you end up like Mexico, where they just run the country. You know,
it's actually illegal in Mexico.
Exactly.
Well, but it's de facto legal. The point is, it's just the drug cartels got so powerful that even the government can't take them on anymore.
But do you really think the drug cartels would overtake the United States like they have Mexico? I don't think so.
Listen, we're at the point that the war on drugs, the fact that it's illegal, and the illicit business that's grown up, and the mobsters and the killers that are drawn into that illicit business, cause more damage than the drugs themselves do. I mean, that can't be a good equation.
Okay. The American people don't agree with you.
I understand that.
They
enough. Will eventually.
And they don't agree with Ron Paul and Gary Johnson.
More of them are coming our way on this.
Well, you said that Tim Pawlenty was the heavy hitter, or although you don't think
I said he was a heavy hitter going in.
But he didn't do well last night.
I think he got overshadowed.
Let's hear one soundbite from last night from Pawlenty talking about interrogation techniques.
If it turns out that many of the techniques that he criticized during the campaign led to Osama bin Laden's being identified and killed, he should be asked to explain whether he does or doesn't support those techniques. But just to give you one example, in Libya, he made a decision to subordinate our decision-making to the United Nations. I don't agree with that at all. If he says Gaddafi must go, he needs to maintain the options to make Gaddafi go, and he didn't do that.
Valid points, guys?
Well, listen. I don't agree with hardly a word that Governor Pawlenty said right there. On the other hand, he is a serious person. He does have a legitimate claim on this nomination. He's not the most exciting fellow you've ever met, but I mean, he's compared to the people who have excited the Republican base, compared to Sarah Palin, to Donald Trump, and to the others who are sort of in that category. At least the guy's got something to say, right?
I agree with that. No, Pawlenty is thoughtful. He was a good governor. I think this issue of what's going on in Libya, since nobody really knows, I think it was Pawlenty last night who said that, you know, if we declared the no-fly zone sooner and stopped Gaddafi earlier, it would have made all the difference in the world. If he didn't say it, somebody else did, but I'm 99% sure it was Pawlenty. That's a good point. That is a good point. In other words, obviously we'll never know now.
Right.
But it could be that we intervened too late because we waited for the Arab League and the UN and whoever else.
But now there's criticism because the administration, the president, decided to go it alone, not go it alone, and taking out UBL. And he's being criticized for
Arthel,
that.
you understand what's happening here, right? I mean, in the case of Libya, you had all these people said, go, 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 right? And then we went, and then they says, why'd you go? And we have the same thing with Osama bin Laden. I mean, we want to get the guy. Everybody was in favor of getting him. We're thrilled we got him. And now, because of the political realities of our bifurcated politics, and there is a half of the political dialogue in America that has to find some kind of fault with the way this thing went.